some interesting things with variables. One of the things that you need to be aware of is that size, when we're creating this, we're actually creating two variables. We have the width and the height variable. And so when we change it from 400 to 400, or we can change it to 600 to 400, we can change the size of our screen. And I've been playing with this, and I found an error in my original code. I moved my X and Y. When I originally did this, I had it as 200 and 200. So I did not see that I had an error in my code. This is why you need to test it when you're working with variables more than just with one set. Because when X and Y are the same, it works perfectly. When I make X and Y different, it exposes an error. The error that I made in line 2 is that I have X, Y, X, X. This should be my Y variable. And unless I had tested with other numbers, I wouldn't have found that error. When I fix it, it works perfectly again. And that lets me get to where I actually wanted to show you with this. Since this is your width and this is your height, you can actually do some simple calculations based on that. So if we would like the snowflake to be in the exact center, we could have X equals width divided by 2, and you can see that it changes color because width is a reserved word in processing. And then we can have height divided by 2, and that should put our snowflake in the exact center. We could also change it by different numbers. We could put it divided by 4 and divided by 4. And that puts us in a corner up here. Now, this also would change if I changed the variables up here. So if I make it taller than it is wide, you'll see that it changes proportionately. So that is an example of using math. So you'll see I've already done that. I'm using 5 times square, which is representing 1 square on my graph paper. And that allows me to, I'm using 5 times square. So each of these represents, this is 5 squares, this is 5 squares, this is 3 squares. So I can have x plus square times 3. I could reverse it and have x plus three times square, and it's exactly the same thing. So you can do multiplication, that's your asterisk, your plus is your plus sign, minus is your minus sign, and this slash here is your division sign. You'll need to know those. So that shows you a little bit about basic math, as well as the fact that there are some implied variables that are actually created when we declare the size of our processing screen.